Brought to you by Lister Pros TV, streaming from Tempe, Arizona. And we're live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey guys, Jordan Nielsen here, host of Real Estate Pros on Lister Pros TV, and today we're here in Tucson at Guild Mortgage. Thank you so much, Guild Mortgage, for letting us use your facility. And we're going to be talking about building a team. And we have Tony Ray Baker, and we also have Ryan Turner, both with Tierra Antigua.
Right.
So this is your third visit, Tony. I haven't scared you off yet.
Do I get a coat?
Yeah, you get a special coat. And Ryan, this is your first time on the show. Thanks.
Don't you get a coat on Saturday Night Live for 3 or 5 or something?
You get a special coat?
Jacket? Yeah.
We need to start having the LP. Write it down for
I think that you need to work on that. Yeah.
We need
I want to earn my coat.
Special shirts or something. So anyways, for those watching that may not know who you are, we'll give you a second. I mean, you've introduced yourself before, but you can just quick, and then Ryan, just let you guys introduce yourselves, how long you've been in real estate.
Cool. Yeah. I started last year. I'm 22. I've lived in Tucson
hustler,
my
man.
whole life. Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. And then I started working with Tony Ray about a month ago. So
cool.
Yeah.
How long have you? So you've been a real estate agent for a year?
Yeah, last August.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Yeah. Happy birthday coming up.
Thank you.
Now, huh? Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You'll be what?
It's his anniversary.
Anniversary. Realtor anniversary.
Yeah.
Anniversary. Yeah. 1 year.
Make me jealous. Make us feel old, right? 22. Come on.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. So I'm Tony Ray Baker, and I've been doing business for 24 years, going on 25 now.
Nice.
And I work with Tierra Antigua, obviously, and Ryan is our newest addition to our team that we did not expect to have. So that's an interesting story.
Yeah. So we'll have to get into that. So were you you weren't planning on building a team, but you're building a team? So obviously the topic of today is talking about building a team.
Right.
Right. So
yeah.
Yes.
Is that what you want me to do?
Well, I guess we'll get into it. So what was the changes in? So you were like a solo agent or working as a partnership or whatever for a long time, correct?
A while, yeah. So for pretty much the first, I'd say 18 years, I was solo with a support staff, by the way, full-time assistant that's worked with me for 24 years, the entire time. And so her and I did everything, and then we added a few more support staff.
Oh, okay.
So folks that worked on marketing, social media, teaching them how to do website stuff for me, things like that. And so we still have all that staff. So there's really 3 support staff for me. So I kind of was a team, but not in the sense of a team with other realtors.
Right.
And then about probably 6 years ago, Darren, my partner, decided to quit his job one day without telling me and
really
create the beginning of a partnership. And he came to work with me. And that was very interesting because I had to reevaluate a lot how to do different what we do best and what we don't do best, and how to pick what chores and what we're having. Every day was different with Darren coming on board. So that was a neat experience for me, frustrating at first, but it turned out to be beautiful because Darren is great at real estate, and it freed me up actually to do more of the things I love. So Darren, once we started delegating the different pieces of the business, and we knew whose role was each, for every component, then my world became different. So I got to love real estate more than I even had at the time, and really focus on marketing and advertising, which is what I like to play in. That's my world. So, and then last year, a really nice young lady named Kelly came, and she called us. And she said, "Hey, I want to be on your team." And we said, "Hey, we don't have one." And she was very insistent. She had known us from one of the companies we worked with. She worked for that company prior. And she said, "No, let's talk about it." And so I said, finally, I agreed to an interview with her. And Kelly came to the table, and she forced me to break open again with the idea of, now, what does this look like? And so we worked our way through, what does a third player in the team mean? and how do we create a win-win for her and our team? And so we created our own model, and I really tried not to look at other team models because I had heard so many negative things about teams, and I really wanted to be a win-win on the team. So I really tried to just create our own thing. So we did, and then about a month ago, it was like deja vu when he called and said, "Hey, I want to be on your team." And so I said, "Okay." And I just remember thinking, let's see how this one goes. Because we were, again, not looking just to put somebody on the team.
Right.
And but now it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Now I get how much more sense it makes,
Sure.
especially with our lifestyle. We like to travel, and we like to have more time with clients, and there's so much that we like to do that having a team affords.
Right.
And then in the future, I'm now looking at exit strategies and how we take the business we've built and hand it over to somebody to continue running the business, and us still make money, but maybe have more travel time.
Sure.
Or maybe all travel time. Who knows
Right.
where that can go? So, team has really changed our world.
So when you talk about teams, there's so many different models. Like you said, you didn't really want to look into other people's models before, figuring out what works for you. Because some people have a team, and then they have people with specific roles. All they work with is buyers. All they work with is sellers, or all they do is this. And then they have the other ones where they're kind of training, full hands-on. What kind of approach have you guys taken to team building?
Well, so I do teach. Every week I teach marketing and advertising. I have for years. And so, of course, that's one big aspect for me for teaching Ryan or anybody else who comes on the team. My philosophy is this: he has to be better than me. And so my goal will always be to teach him everything I know, and then let him expand on it.
Right.
And the reason is if I do want an exit strategy, or I do want to go to Greece for 30 days, I need to know that he's going to take care of the business just the way I would, or better. And that's really, so for me, it's the whole picture.
Right.
So for me, every day Ryan is with me. He's watching and learning. Mm-hmm. And then I learn from him, because he knows new ways, and he knows new things, and he knows things. I don't work with Instagram yet. I work with my marketing platforms or websites and Facebook. And he comes with all new different clientele and different views on the world. And those are things that I can now take into account on my marketing and advertising.
Right.
So it's pretty exciting actually to have someone new, fresh, and young. So that was another cool aspect of Ryan.
Right. So we know there's a lot of options, Ryan. You've been in the business for a year. What ultimately drew you to working with Tony Ray Baker and his team?
I when I first started with Tierra Antigua, I went to one of his classes, and
one of the marketing classes you were talking about.
I think it was a newsletter class.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a newsletter class. And then he after that class, he messaged me on Facebook with his real estate Facebook page.
Uh-huh.
And then I didn't think anything of it, and I actually joined a different team as a transaction coordinator, and then I left that team in March of this year.
Oh, okay.
And then I kind of worked by myself, and I was doing everything I thought I was supposed to be doing, but it wasn't working out. So I thought that it's best if I join somebody who's been in the business,
having success, has the tenure.
So I messaged him, and then we set up a time to get together.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what is the dynamics of the team? Does everybody come into the office every day and have a powwow in the morning, or
not at all?
Because you mentioned that you guys work together quite a bit.
Yeah.
And it sounds like it's kind of a mentorship role, because you're showing him the ropes of the business and everything.
It is a mentorship role, definitely. But he has amazing work ethics, or it wouldn't have worked out. He shows up every day. Comes in, he works with me. No matter what it is, he works with me. And so one of the things we're doing right now is we're going after lead generation, which I've never done. I mean, I generate a lot of leads, but I don't pursue them. And I haven't pursued them for 22 years, 23 years. We didn't go after leads. We do buy referral business. So it's interesting because we have these leads coming in from marketing and nowhere to go, nor the systems. So the first thing I saw was we need to have leads. For one, we have to go after his clientele and start fostering those relationships on his behalf, so that they start seeing him as a real estate agent that's doing business in Tucson, Arizona, and give him that level of professionalism that he needs to appear that's happening for him.
Sure.
The other thing that then we looked at was how do we get fresh new leads to him, and how do we set up systems that he can maintain and manage those, because those can then become profitable in the future for him, because he can foster those relationships and then turn those into a referral business. So now we're working with him. He comes in every day, and he actually sits down and we work on brainstorming systems. So we put 6 new systems in place this year just to manage leads, because we're pulling in probably 20 a week right now with just minimal. We're not really trying yet.
So what are the sources
coming in?
Where are you seeing, so for other real estate agents that may be watching this, where are you seeing success in leads? Is it from sending out newsletters? Is it from mailers? Or what are you guys doing that are generating leads? Do you subscribe to Zillow? What does that look like?
Yeah, so I'm kind of a Scrooge when it comes to buying things. So I'm not your Zillow guy.
Saving your money for Greece. I know what you're doing.
Not the Zillow guy for sure, because I just it kind of makes me cringe to think about buying leads. But in a way, I am buying leads, but more a different type. One of the ways we do a lot of business is websites and SEO and blogging on websites, transferring that to social media, and then transferring all of that to our clientele in the form of newsletters and keeping in touch with them. So there's different components, but our biggest business comes from staying in touch with clients, and then our online business comes from Facebook right now and websites, which is pretty amazing how much. We haven't even tapped Instagram, so that'll be interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah, we're using Facebook Marketplace to post some of the listings that we have, or
all
the
nice.
listings. So we're getting feedback from that.
So those are the leads where you're sourcing leads off of Facebook? Or it's from Marketplace?
Well, we got the Marketplace, but we've also, and this is something Tony really pushed on me, which was to change my followers on Facebook, their perception of me in real estate. So I've been posting different stuff, and it's been working.
Right.
Also Craigslist, we've gotten a couple hits from that, posting the listings on Craigslist. We do a lot of email. I've got a couple email campaigns that I do. I send out weekly emails, not in regards to real estate.
Yeah.
Kind of just like weekly wisdom stuff.
So I guess that's the thing. So you're like more social. You're gonna be doing Instagram and stuff. What do you see as a good mix, or how do you mix it up? Because I think a lot of your friends and family don't always want to see just listed, just sold. Like what are those value pieces that you guys send out from a marketing perspective that helps engage an audience and not necessarily drive them away?
Yeah, no, our newsletters to our COI, those are all just fun information. The post that we do on Facebook right now, that's a lot of fun information.
Yeah.
And then the listings themselves, as we get properties to, one, we want to help our seller by getting that property out there, and two, what we've done is a lot of lead capture systems so that when somebody is looking at one of those properties, we can call them, follow up with them. But now, more importantly, he's just finishing up. He's how long have you been working on this? A couple weeks with me.
This is almost
2 weeks.
Yeah.
So we've been working 2 weeks religiously on creating a 2-year email campaign with my buying tips. So we have every few weeks a buyer will now get Tony Ray's buying tips and things they need to know as they're educating and going through the process, because we've discovered that these buyers are 6 months to 2 years out, and I've converted a whole lot of people now that were 1 year to 2 years, so they're actually searching for information way ahead of their purchase time. But we lose them as a group, probably of agents. We lose these if we don't have a system to follow up, which I did not. So we just sat down for the last 2 weeks. He's been diligently plowing through creating the 50-some emails that'll go out every 2 weeks with another buyer's tip. And then we'll eventually convert all that to video. So right now they're written, and then we'll go on and film, and we'll film all of those, and then we'll put a little university together of some sort on a website.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so Buyer's Information Center, where they can come into a website, and if they've already seen, if they caught number 5 somewhere, they'll be able to go back and watch 1 through 4, or they can just watch as many as they want. They could binge watch.
Right,
maybe
right,
want to. Maybe they want to escalate their they want to get ready quicker to buy.
Yeah.
So.
But I love that idea. I think it's not being such that sales pitch, but how can you add value to your audience and people that are potentially looking to buy or sell a home.
Right.
With tips and tricks and how to get your home ready, and they, being a resource for people,
Right.
versus just saying I'm a realtor.
Yeah, it doesn't work. Yeah, not for me. The sales type doesn't work. And for me, every day we run into situations. Every loan officer, every realtor runs into situations that we think, oh my gosh, every buyer should know this is a pitfall that we can solve. But they just would, if they knew this, they could keep away from it. It's how to navigate. And so it's very interesting. We see these every day, but do we put it down somewhere? So we've actually started working on putting it down.
Right.
Yeah, telling those stories. I've got 24 years of crazy stories, every transaction.
Mm-hmm.
So how great
everybody
would
likes
that
a
be?
good story,
Right?
or even the pitfalls that you go into. All right, so how it could,
Right? Yeah. So how do you solve?
Not every real estate transaction's smooth, right? There's always something.
There's always something.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah, almost every time. So it's exciting to get all this going.
Cool.
Yeah.
So building a team, you're liking it so far. Oh, also, I was going to ask you about systems, because you talked about building systems. What system do you guys use, or method do you guys use to help, I guess, track leads and keep in contact and know, your sphere of influence and stuff like that? What are you guys using as a CRM?
So that's interesting, because I'm actually looking to switch over. Not switch over. I'm actually looking today. I'm interviewing CRMs because
nice.
I'm going on to. So I use a CRM from BRO, which is just for cultivating your center of influence and really making sure you're taking care of them. It's a different type of CRM. That is, a lot of that is after the sale or before a sale. You're cultivating relationships and working with that group. The CRM that I need in place now is going to be a completely separate CRM, and that'll be lead generation and nurturing the lead and following it through. So it's a whole different program. So I've discovered that I can actually, and probably will be operating off of 3 types of CRMs eventually.
Wow.
Because as you break down the categories, it doesn't make sense. Not one CRM seems to make sense for all of them.
Sure.
And then there's lead capture CRMs that actually you use to market, and then they bring leads in, and then those are a different CRM completely, because you're going to treat those folks differently as well.
Right.
Yeah, so we're using 3, we'll be using 3 probably. So I just reached out this morning at 7 o'clock.
So now, at this point in your career, are you open to bringing on more people? Are you
Yeah.
looking? So you're saying,
Every time I say,
if you're
I'm not
interested
building
in joining a team,
Yeah.
before he was against it.
Yeah.
Probably our
I was
first
never
time.
against
Not
it.
against
I just
it,
never
but-
really thought that out, And it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
Kelly who kicked my brain into, well, Darren probably actually kicked my brain ahead of that, but no, I am actually, we will consider bringing in the right people to create a team, as long as it's a win-win for us and for them and the client. It
Right.
makes sense. But yeah, my goal is that he or someone, if he chooses to stay with us, that he's running that team. So that would be the ultimate goal, is that he or someone else that wants that position is running the team. Because in 20, 25 years, I don't plan to be running the team full time. So
You're going to be sipping a martini on the beach of Greece, right?
yeah, they don't drink martinis.
Oh, they don't?
Not like that.
That's like
Yeah,
Italy
I
or
did
something.
30 days in Greece, and it was watermelon juice and vodka. Yeah, that's really what they were. Yeah, it's a different country. Beautiful place. But yeah, so I think that for him, I would love to see him progress and take over. But it has to be right for him. He could hate real estate in 5 years. Who knows? So I don't count on that, but I do want, now in my mind, I do want to have a team, more agents with more ideas that we can help mentor through these years, and eventually have a core group of them that will just keep the business running. Because what we come with is, and every agent who's been out there doing this for years comes with a group of people in a little black book that depend and count on them, and walking away and shutting business down does not make sense to me. It almost seems really unfair to your those people who love, like, and trust you
Right.
to just walk away. And you really need to hand them over to people that you can trust and wholeheartedly say, he's going to take great care of you, but now I'm not. And I think that's a legacy in real estate that we all need to think more about leaving.
Sure.
So
if somebody watching this is interested in joining your team here in the Tucson area, correct? Or somebody
Tucson,
looking to
yeah.
buy or sell a home, how do people get a hold of you guys?
they can call me at 520-631-8669 and or visit us at ctucsonhomes.com, and we'd be glad to answer questions. And
How about you, Ryan?
Give me a call at 520-780-7425, or same thing at ctucsonhomes.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys, for taking time out of your busy day to join me on Real Estate Pros.
Yeah,
And we will
thanks for
see you
having
guys on the next episode.